In this lesson, I will show you for the first time how to use functions in Excel. Until now, you have only worked with calculations. Functions can operate either on their own or in combination with calculations. For example, I will show you that there is a function that calculates the average directly for you when you provide the cells you want. This means you don't need to add the cells and divide the sum by their count yourself. The function will do it directly for you. Let's see this with an example. I will select cell B9 where I want to calculate the sum of the cells from B2 to B7. Remember when I told you that when you are about to enter a calculation inside the cell, you must start with the equal sign? This also applies to functions. However, when you enter a function in a cell using the ribbon, Excel will automatically insert the equal sign, and that's why you don't have to do it yourself. As you become a more advanced Excel user, you might want to type the function yourself, and in that case, you should type the equal sign too. But now, I'm going to use the ribbon to insert the function, so remember that when you put a function like that, you don't write the equal sign because it will be inserted automatically. So, with the cell simply selected, from the Home tab in the Editing palette, I will open the Sum tool. Although the tool is called Sum, there are 5 very basic functions in here, and through the More Functions option, you can find others. I will choose Sum for now, and notice that in cell B9, the equal sign was automatically inserted, and the function named Sum was written. Functions take parameters inside the parentheses. For the sum function, the parameter is the range of cells you want to add. Excel automatically entered the range based on the way the data are arranged and the position of the cell you want to enter the function. It did a pretty good job here, but I want from cell B2 to B7 and not B8, so I will change that by using the mouse. I will click on B2, hold down and drag to B7. This way I change the range of cells to be summed. So, of course, I could do something much simpler, which is to type the range inside the cell, but here I did it with the mouse. Now that I have entered the range of cells that interests me, I will press enter to complete the entry, and the sum now is ready. I think that this is easier than adding each cell one by one with the addition operation, and it is certainly easier when you have to sum several hundreds or thousands of cells. Using the sum function, you can add a few cells or a large range of cells almost with the same effort. I should mention here that if when using a function an error appears instead of the result, then something was done wrong. You will see more about errors in a future lesson, but just keep that in mind. Now let's look at the function for calculating the average. In cell B10, I want to calculate the average of the same range of cells from B2 to B7. I could divide cell B9 by 6, but the function that does this job is the best solution. I will open the Sum tool again, as I did before, but this time I will select average. Now see that the average function, which calculates the average of the cells, has been inserted into the cell. Notice that the way all functions work is the same. The equal sign was inserted into the cell first, then the name of the function, and then the parameter inside the parentheses. This time the initial selection of cells is not so good because the position of the cell I'm entering the function does not give Excel enough information to understand what I want. So I will click on cell B2, hold down the mouse, and drag to B7 to select the range myself. Now that the range of cells has been entered, I will press enter to complete the entry, and cell B10 now has the average. Here another advantage of function is also shown. Using the function for the average, you don't need to know how the average is calculated. That is, you don't need to know that the average is the sum of the cells divided by their count. The function calculates directly what I want. Let's now look at the function for the maximum value. I will move to the items worksheet, and I will select cell D5. Here I want to calculate the maximum number in the range from B2 to B13. I will open the Sum tool, and I will select max from the available functions. The function that does this job is the max function, of course, and here the range of cells I want is completely different than the one Excel proposes. I could select the cells with the mouse, but I want you to see that I can simply write the range. I will press backspace to delete the range, and Now I will type B2 colon B13. Notice that the range is highlighted, so I have written it correctly. If it wasn't highlighted, I should be aware that I made the mistake. I will press enter now, and the value displayed is the maximum from those in the cell range I selected. Of course, functions like calculations automatically update their result as soon as there is a change in the data. For example, I will go to cell B10 and type the number 950, and I will press enter. See that the maximum value in cell D5 changed because now the largest number is 950. Let's complete the functions of this lesson with the function for the minimum. I will select cell D8, and from the sum tool again, I will choose the minimum function. The function is called min, and the cells automatically selected do not suit me here, so I will press backspace again to erase them, and I will type B2 colon B13 and press enter. And now I see the minimum value, which is 9. Typing the cell range instead of selecting it with the mouse is very convenient when a large range is the range you want. Here there are only a few cells, so maybe the mouse is better. However, if you had to select from B2, let's say, to B1000, then you would see that using the mouse is not convenient, and it is easier to just type the range. I should also mention something last about the min and max functions. They give you the minimum and maximum from the cells in the selected range that contain numerical values. Notice here that although there is an empty cell, cell B6, it does not give me 0 as the minimum value because the cell is empty and does not have any numerical value in it. I will go to cell B6 and I will enter the number 0 and press enter. Now the minimum is 0, and it appears here in the formula because it is included as a numerical value. Before closing the lesson, two things about how you can edit a function and especially how you can change the cell range it uses. I will select cell D5, which contains the max function, and in the formula bar I will press the FX tool. Through this window I can edit all the parameters of the selected function. I won't explain more for now. I'll just come here to the first parameter, click at the end of the text so it is not selected, and delete the number 13, and I will replace it with 9, and I will press OK. Now I see the maximum of the cell range B2 to B9. I changed the parameter of the function. I can also edit the function directly without using the FX tool, but it is a bit more difficult. Let's see how we can do that. I will go to cell D8, which has the min function in it, and I will double click it to open for editing. I will place the cursor after B2, and I will delete the 2 here to replace it with 10, and I will press enter. Now I see the minimum of the range, the cell range B10 to B13. Excel has hundreds of functions, if not thousands, not just those you see in the sum tool, of course. The functions in the sum tool are the ones that you will use quite frequently, which is why they can be found in such an easy way. You can find all functions in the Formulas tab in the Function Library group. Here they are divided into categories, so you can easily locate them. In the basic level lessons, I will cover only a small part of this, but if you are interested in exploring most of the functions, you should follow the advanced level Excel courses. That's all for this lesson. Thank you for watching.